Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bob Seat. This is episode I don't know actually, but I was off last week. We didn't have a guest, and this week we have double the quality of guest. I don't know to make up for it. I'm trying. I'm trying here. This is Jillian. Jillian, I met, what was it, a couple years ago, as part of a public speaking group that we run called the Lawnside Lectern. It's analogous to Toastmasters, and Jillian joined the online club, and we've been public speaking now for a couple of years. And she agreed to join me on this podcast where we're just talking about random stuff. So, Jillian, how's things going with you? What's on your mind?
Good. Firstly, excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I watched a couple of episodes just to get a feel for
Yeah,
it, and it just looks like a good time.
yeah.
I mean, unsurprisingly, you're good at talking to people, so I found the
Sometimes,
videos I thought it was engaging. So happy
yeah,
to be here. Uh,
yeah.
what's on my mind? I just got back home from buying a whole bunch of fruits and vegetables every
Cool.
Sunday. I do juicing basically
Every Sunday.
every Sunday. I basically buy $35 worth of fruits and vegetables, run it through a juicer, and
Okay.
have 10 mason jars of juice for me and my husband to drink across the work week.
Okay, so Monday through Friday, you meal prep your juices on Sunday, and it's always $35.
It's always, yeah, I never really count what I get or weigh it, but somehow it always ends up being exactly $35.
And you always get the same things.
Yep, always the same thing every time. Same vegetables, same fruit.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah,
well, that's probably why it's always $35. But
probably.
where are you going to? Where are you
Just
shopping?
local farmers markets here.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice. And
it's cheaper than the grocery stores.
you're in North Jersey, right?
Yeah, I'm in Morris Plains in North Jersey, and you're in South Jersey. Yeah.
I'm actually in Philly right now. Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, there's some interesting farmers markets here. I need to explore, you know, better better priced produce. It's hard to grocery stores can be expensive these days. So I don't
I heard
really
there's like a,
juice, but go ahead.
isn't there a really gigantic farmers market somewhere in that area? I looked it up on my
Yeah,
phone.
no, you're right. There's like I think it's like South Philly or something.
Mm,
The Italian market.
yeah.
Yeah, that's so good and actually has really good prices. I forget about that. Problem
Mm,
is with especially in Philly is parking,
yeah.
I find. Yeah.
Mm,
Jersey is just like, it's an oasis of, or is it the opposite of an oasis? No, oasis is right. Yeah, oasis of parking. There's just
mm,
huge parking spaces. Anywhere you go, there's parking lots.
yeah.
Philly is not like that.
It's not as
And
car friendly.
it's not car friendly.
Mm,
So it's just complicated to, you want to go out to eat. It's like, do I really want to have to go find parking? So a
mm,
lot of times we're just like walking somewhere local here. We're, Ubering. We're going to Jersey, but
yeah.
yeah, it's probably one of the things I don't like about the city. It's interesting because it's like two sides of the coin, right? On the one hand, you're closer, you have better access to a ton of things, but at the same time, actually getting to anywhere that's beyond that is so much more complicated.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of pros and cons to living in a city.
I kind of struggled with how car-centric New Jersey is when I first moved here.
Mm.
Yeah, because I don't know if people here use the word highway or not. Yeah, like it's
I
driving
think
on
it's
the
highway,
highway,
not freeway.
not
Freeway is
freeway.
like California.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So it's so car-centric here to the point that there aren't any sidewalks. And,
Mm-hmm.
back home in Canada, I'm very much used to taking my dog out, go for a walk around the sidewalks, for
Yeah.
hours and hours, and it's very safe here. It's like as soon as you step out, you're walking on the road with other cars that are going like 60 miles an hour, 70 miles an
Yeah.
hour. It's all about driving here. I rarely ever see a bus, which is strange.
Yeah. definitely it's like, especially in New Jersey, there's a lot of places that are exactly as you're describing. You can find like pockets where there's residential areas where there's like a lot of sidewalks and things like that, but it's hit or miss. It sounds like Canada has a lot of sidewalks, a lot of
There's more
walking.
walking. Yeah, there's areas and like
Mm,
cities that are walkable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Walking's great. It's a shame that like you can't walk outside. That's almost one of the pros of the city.
Yeah.
I get to walk all the time. I can walk up and down the street.
Mm.
Um, cars are going pretty slow. So
Mm.
I like to walk a lot, trying to get my goal of 6,000 steps a day.
That's a lot.
Yeah, going on it's my 15th month. I did it all last year, 3 months into this year. I was trying to bump it up to 8,000, but I think something people don't realize is like doing a lot of steps takes a lot of time. Like 6,000 steps, that's like an hour of walking.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get that in every day. And I often find myself at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, just like pacing in the one bedroom apartment here, just like back and forth to try and get like 3,000 steps. And
Just
I'm
like
just like
watching
looking
your
at my phone,
pedometer.
just looking at my phone, just watching, waiting the steps go up, have headphones in. But 8,000 steps would have been like an hour and a half of walking. And suddenly like this
Yeah.
is, that's too much.
Would you ever want to get one of those treadmills for the desk, the flat ones where you can work and walk at the same time?
You know, if I had a standing desk, I might like, think about it. But one of the drawbacks to that, I think, is that you're in a meeting and suddenly you're just like doing this, and like if people know, it's like one thing, but if they don't know, they're just like, why is
Why
he
is it
bouncing?
bouncy?
But yeah, I mean that actually that would help me get a lot of steps. Sometimes if I have like just a straight up phone meeting, sometimes my boss will call me on the phone, and he likes to walk while he talks. And so I'm like, this might be a good opportunity. So I just get up and I start walking around, or my dad will call me and I'll just get steps in. So that's a good way to like kind of do double duty.
Mm.
But juicing is definitely next level. Steps is like first step to self-improvement.
Yeah.
Juicing is like, especially meal prep. I feel like that's
Yeah.
pretty good. I used to
Me-
like grass-fed juice. Tried that before. It's
What's grass
refreshing.
juice?
You never had that? No, I'm
No.
sorry, not grass-fed juice. Just grass juice. Grass.
Oh, grass wheat? Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wheatgrass. Wheatgrass.
Wheat grass.
Yeah,
What's
you
it
never
taste?
heard of that?
No. Does it taste like grass?
Yeah, they have like these little wheatgrass shots.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've
Yeah,
seen it
it's
before.
super refreshing.
Mm.
Expensive, and it's like I don't know if it really does anything, but I think that's part of my issue with juicing, because I
Mm.
just don't know if I guess I have to do it longer to get the benefits. But I've like tried juice. I'm like, it's all right.
We've been doing it since the start of the year, I think,
Oh,
since
okay.
January. Initially, we did a juice fast where that's pretty much all we ate for a good 7 days. So I found that my body fat percentage
Mm,
actually went down, which is good.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think now we just kind of do it to put ourselves in the right state of mind with food throughout the day so
Mm,
that we don't get tempted with, getting too much takeout or
really?
whatever. Yeah, I think like the juice is there's the nutrients, but there's also just I think that the habit of good eating, which I think is important.
Okay. So you get a certain amount of vegetables that are $35, and you can make 10 juices out of it.
Mm.
And you have this for what, breakfast or what?
I have it for lunch. I think he has it for lunch too.
Okay. Do you eat breakfast?
I have coffee, which probably
Okay.
is great, but yeah.
Okay. Coffee. And then for lunch, you just have the juice. You don't have anything else.
Yeah,
Okay. And that fills you up to dinner. And then like you make a better choice for dinner because you're already on the good path.
exactly.
So this sounds probably people that know me know that I go through phases in eating, and I'm not the healthiest eater, but
I think you mentioned before.
I've been eating instant ramen pretty much every day for lunch. I'm not proud of it.
Which brand?
What is it? Shin Black with it's got the
The red and
bone.
black one?
the bone broth in it. Yeah.
I love
It,
that one. It's
very
spicy.
tasty. My friend pointed out that it's like 80% of the daily intake of sodium.
Yeah, it's
I was like,
super
I'm doing great.
expensive.
It's like there's no cheese, it's not like really fatty, but like yeah, the sodium's bad.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Why is sodium bad for you? I'm sounding like an idiot, but like
Hypertension?
yeah, I just feel like the salt should like scrape out all the bad stuff in your. But that's that's poor logic. That's like
Like
Trump like
gravel.
with the soap, just drinking soap and putting bleach in your veins. That kind of
Yeah.
logic doesn't really get you very far. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So tell me the vegetables you put in the juice.
Vegetables are typically cucumber and celery, kale and spinach.
Okay.
Uh, you
The
typically
greens.
yield, yeah, you typically
Mm.
yield the most water out of like celery and cucumber, obviously. And then on
Okay.
the fruit side, it's apple, orange.
Mm.
I bought honeydew
Okay.
and can't remember what else. Sometimes carrot, but carrot kind of makes the juice kind of brown and toxic, sludgy looking. So I try to
Okay.
avoid it now.
The appearance is big.
It's kind of, yeah, if it's brown and not appealing,
Yeah.
it still tastes fine, but it's kind of off-putting. So I try to
Interesting.
make it as
Hmm.
green as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we know how many like calories or micros or anything on this or just winging it?
No, I kind of winging
Probably
it.
not. Probably not that bad. Yeah, it's
It,
probably like negligible. It's just
yeah,
veggies.
it's probably on the high side in natural sugar because I mean, it's an apple, it's an orange, so
Yeah,
it's
it's got
sugar.
fruit.
Yeah, but
Uh,
it's not refined.
but it's got the fiber from the veggies.
But the fiber gets lost though because it goes into the pulp, so you get the water of it.
Okay, so you're using a real juice, so you're not blending.
No, I'm not blending.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay. And so that's why you don't need like ice or
no.
extra water. It's got all the water.
Yeah, pretty
What
much.
kind of what kind of juice are you using?
What kind of juicer?
Yeah, the brand
Hamilton
name.
Beach something. It
Okay.
was from Costco.
And is it a pain in the butt to like clean out the juicer all the time?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's why you do it once a week.
It's once a week, two and
Okay.
a half hours.
2.5 hour process.
That's how long it takes.
Wow. What's
Yeah.
the longest part?
The longest part is, I'd say the actual juicing, even though it seems like you're just kind of putting things inside. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why it takes so long, but that takes long.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a 50-50 because there's like the fruit and vegetable preparation, the slicing and dicing of things.
Mm. The
But
cleaning though, not that
yeah,
long.
not as long because it's all just gonna go and turn into pulp anyways.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very much ritualistic, I'd say, at this
Wow.
point. Yeah.
Do you listen to any music or you do anything like doing this 2 hour, 2.5 hour?
Yeah, I listen to audiobooks
Mm,
typically. I think that that is kind of why I do it as well because I mean, we spend 40 hours a week in front of a computer. It's kind of nice to do
sure.
something with your hands. And then
Mm.
it gives me a chance to like listen to books and listen to things that I wouldn't normally do. Yeah.
So so you're putting in basically, if we spread it out to Monday through Friday, a half hour's worth of work to make lunch,
Yes,
which you drink probably while you're working anyway.
pretty much.
So that's kind of getting to your lunch break.
Yeah.
But then you don't have to worry about cleaning and all that extra stuff. So it's easier just to do. Mm.
Yep.
And you do this with your husband?
It's mostly me that does it actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's not a
No,
juicer. He just
he,
likes to drink it.
yeah. I honestly don't know if two people will make it faster because the process is the
Yeah.
same. Yeah, but I do kind
Yeah.
of like doing it myself because it's just dedicated me time to just creating this one thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. Do you
Okay.
have anything like that? Like mine's just juicing, but do you have anything that you do like ritualistic like that?
Yeah, we do a morning routine every morning. We do a handful of things. I have like my own routine. She has her routine, but together We start with reading. So we set a timer for 5 minutes and we read for this is Monday through Friday usually. And
Mm,
we'll read our own book for 5 minutes, usually nonfiction. And then we will journal for 5 minutes. So we just pop open our phones and just, type in whatever we want to talk about for 5 minutes. And I end that usually with like a list of 10 things that I'm grateful for,
mm,
which is just like I don't know if that's really paying off for me, but it's nice. It's nothing wrong with doing it.
mm.
So after the reading and the writing, then we do 5 minutes of meditation, which probably doesn't sound like a lot, but better than nothing. So we'll set a time. We'll just sit there. We'll just sit there and close our eyes and, you know, relax for 5 minutes. And then usually we'll follow that with like our own yoga type of thing. So we've been both doing yoga kind of on and off for a long time. We have our own thing that we like to do. So I have like a little routine that I'll do for a few minutes. Usually I'll do some exercising in the morning. I'll drink a glass of water. And then usually I proceed to do some other things. I have some apps on my phone, like a language app. So I'm learning Spanish, ear training, and do some ear training
Mm.
for just
For like
getting
melodies or
getting better at music.
mm,
So there's an app that I use called Complete Ear Trainer, and I was doing a certain drill where it would play like a series of 7 notes, and then I knew the first note, and then I had to kind of guess the rest of the notes. And now I'm doing it with chords, and
mm,
so it's just kind of cool. So
that's cool.
yeah, do a handful of things, but eating wise, I'm just completely nothing great there. Terrible, terrible eating habits. The only thing that I do that's like relatively healthy is that I count my calories. Like I feel like if there's all these different nutrients you can track, but I feel like calories is the overall. If you're counting your calories, everything else is kind of in there. Your fats, your carbs, your proteins or whatever. So at
Yeah.
least I'm not eating too much, but even a little bit of not good is probably not good.
Yeah. How long have you and Kayla been doing that like morning sequence together?
Pretty much since we met. So I've been doing it for 15 years.
Wow.
I've been doing it a very, very long time. And it's really helped me, especially the reading has helped me get through so many books because, there's a lot of books that I want to read and I just don't sit down. Yeah, you think 5 minutes isn't a lot of time, but if you're not reading at all, then that's no amount of time. And if you're consistently doing 5 minutes a day, you're gonna get through books. And
Hmm.
so it's been really nice for me to have that habit. But yeah, I've been doing it with Kayla. It probably took her like a year or two of being with me and like living with me before she kind of caught on to it. And then she was like, oh yeah. And now she feels like she can't really start her day, especially the weekday without doing her, ritual routine, which in a very similar vein to doing the juice, it kind of sets us off on the right
Yeah.
habits. Um, So maybe choose, and you said you just started in January with the juicing.
Hmm. Yeah.
So this is like a New Year's resolution for you.
I think it was. I don't think it was a declared New Year's resolution. I
Mm.
think well, I think it's always one of those things where it's like, everybody overindulges on the holidays and then
Sure.
because of what you're
Totally.
eating, your body feels bad about it. So I saw the juicing as kind of a bit of a reset. So an unofficial New Year's resolution, but
Yeah.
resolution regardless. And we've stuck through it for yeah, over 2 months now. So not bad.
So you both plan to continue doing the juicing.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I can say forever, as long as it's working for us. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't see it not working for us, so I think we're going to do it for a long time.
Yeah. And you don't get hungry during the day. Not have
No,
anything else.
no, I think my husband works a lot, I work a lot. I find that during the
Hmm.
workday, I generally don't
Hmm.
eat and don't get hungry. Do you?
Yeah. I love to eat a lot.
Mm.
I just want to like, especially for lunch, I like to eat it early and just get it over with. So I would be happy to start eating at about 8 a.m. And probably most days I'm eating lunch at like 8:39
Yeah.
and make some quick ramen. And it's a big bowl of ramen. I'll put like chicken in it and maybe some veggies, and it fills me up. But when I first moved out to San Diego, they had California burritos, which is just a huge burrito. It's full of like French fries and
Yeah.
carne asada. It's just like terrible for you, but like it was so delicious and it was cheap. You could get a huge burrito for like $7 or less. It's amazing. And it would open at like 7 a.m. And so I would start every work day 8 or 9 a.m. and I would just house a whole burrito. And that was basically all I would eat all day. Maybe a little something tonight.
Those are the ones that are like the size of your forearm, right?
Oh
They're the
yeah,
yeah.
gigantic. And it was probably, I don't know, easily 2,000 calories. And that was my whole day's worth of calories, basically. But I loved sometimes people just eat a lot and they're like, oh, I'm stuffed. I can't do anything. But for me, like, I feel like I'm ready to go. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm
Like,
packed up.
you're fueled
Let's,
up. What were you doing in San Diego?
exploring adventure.
Mm.
I turned 28 and I got certified as a behavior analyst. And so I went out to a conference to kind of find work. I had been interested in moving to California. Part of me was thinking about the Bay Area, but then I was like, it's kind of cold up there and rainy, and I don't know if I really want that. And then I was looking at like Santa Barbara, and I'm like, oh, that's like way too expensive. And my parents had gone to San Diego and had talked a little bit about how great it was, and I was like, okay. So anyway, so I'm at this conference, and this company had a flyer that they were hiring, and they had a bunch of places on there that they were hiring across the country. And they were trying to push me to like New Orleans. And I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. But also on the list it said San Diego. And I was like, well, this looks cool too. I was like, need San Diego? And they said, we'll talk about it. So lo and behold, I ended up getting an interview for a San Diego role and they hired me. And they helped a little bit with the cost of getting out there. And I didn't have much at the time, even though I was 28. I was back to living with my parents at that point, and so I didn't have much. I threw it all in my car, took my dad with me. He was in the passenger seat, sleeping almost all the time, but he was happy to be there. And shout out to my dad for being probably the only fan of this show at the moment. Uh, we
My Bob said.
it was, I think it's like a 40-hour drive, all said and done across the country.
Holy.
20 hours to like the middle of Texas and then another 20 hours. And yeah, we took the trip and I was listening to the Daft Punk album the whole time. What's it called? Random Access Memories, which is just a
Yeah.
great album. Man, it's such a good album. And I think we stopped one night. That was it. We basically went straight through.
Whoa.
And I got there without an apartment set up. I had never been to San Diego. Of course, I accepted the job already.
Mm.
And I found a long-term hotel, long stay, extended stay hotel, which is like $500 a week. And so just signed up, started looking for apartments, found one, and it was like gonna be 3 weeks before I could get into the apartment. So I had to stay at this like extended stay for like three weeks, which is such an interesting experience. I don't know if you've ever stayed at like a hotel.
Not
But
for that
like,
long.
yeah, it was a very interesting experience. You get to know like the whole staff and like, I'd get the breakfast, the little pastry as I was walking out the door. It was fun. It was kind of nice. Especially in my 20s, it wasn't too bad.
Mm.
And yeah, then eventually moved into a studio apartment downtown San Diego, and it was an adventure. There's so much good Mexican food out there. Obviously, people know about the weather. And you're never 10 minutes farther away from a body of water, an ocean or a beach. Learn to surf out there, which was kind of cool. And it's so mountain-esque. I don't know if that's a word, mountain-esque. It's literally like if you I don't obviously I don't know if in Canada they probably have more mountains than they do here. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not from a mountainous area. East Coast and like mid coast is not very mountainous.
Mhm.
But yeah, San Diego's just like there's mountains everywhere. You're just driving down the street, it's just like mountains and
Mm.
water. It's beautiful. It's
Sounds
incredible.
like Vancouver.
Yeah.
The whole backdrop of the city is just the Rocky
Yeah.
Mountains. It's gorgeous.
So is it weird for you being out here where it's like all pretty much like rolling hills or flat?
Yeah, I mean we acclimated pretty quickly, but it is
Mm.
kind of weird to just look out the window and not see a mountain anywhere in
Yeah.
sight.
Or
Uh,
poutine.
yeah, no poutine here.
That's sad.
Yeah, well, I mean I don't miss the poutine so I grew up in an area of Vancouver that was very like multicultural. So I was born in a city that's like 50% Chinese, like 50% of the population doesn't speak English.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then the last place I lived had a really large East Indian population, so
Mm.
the best curry and best Indian food in the world is there. Uh,
Wow.
in this neighborhood, it's like primarily Italian, so I think what I miss most is like sushi and
Yeah.
good Indian food.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. This
but the
food
the pro is good pizza.
in Vancouver or Canada in general, or
Oh, here
oh,
in,
here's
in
good
New
pizza.
Jersey, yeah,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The
yeah,
Italian's much better.
yeah,
That's something I missed in San Diego. There's no really good Italian food. Pizza is definitely different. But
yeah.
here you can't really get good Mexican food. No
No,
offense to any Mexican restaurants, but like the tortillas are just completely different. You could go to just a corner store
yeah,
and just get amazing tortillas,
hmm
but here it's just not the same.
yeah. It's
It's
not.
okay. Every place has its own special food, except
Yeah,
LA. Somehow they got everything.
they do.
New York is very diversified, but like at the same time, they're pretty, they're pretty much known for their pizza, I think, right?
Yeah,
Delis, Jewish delis, maybe,
I would argue that New Jersey has better pizza and better bagels.
than New York.
Yeah, 100%. I'll die on that hill.
How often are you going between North Jersey and New York?
I go there probably like once a month or
Mm,
so at this point,
wow.
usually to catch a show or to just hang
Mm.
out. I used to go there, like when I lived in Canada, I worked for an American company, so I used to go there like every quarter or so for work. So like I'm not like a New Yorker by any means, but like I
Yeah.
think I've dropped in enough
Once a month's
to,
a lot.
yeah, I guess so.
So, I mean, it's enough to like be able to have an opinion on the bagels and the pizza.
Yeah, I think so.
What what's the difference? Like if you can put a thing on it, description or difference.
I'd say with the bagels, if I could say it generally, the bagels here have a better flavor. I don't think it's because of the water, because our waters, I'm pretty sure, get sourced from similar areas. But
Yeah.
here, like there's almost like a sourdough type taste to it. The texture is different too. I find it's softer in New Jersey. Some places have like even a bit more of like a crispier shell somehow.
Are we talking the bagels?
The bagels, yeah.
Huh. Interesting. And
For
you've tried
pizza,
different places.
yeah, yeah.
Huh.
Like everywhere we go, like in this county and whenever we go to other counties, we're always trying bagels everywhere.
Mm.
Yeah. And I've had like
Wow.
lots of New York bagels, so hmm.
Not for breakfast though.
uh like brunch, lunch.
Days you don't do the juice.
Yeah, on weekends.
On the
Weekends are for
weekends.
bagels.
Weekends are for
Never.
bagels and
Yeah.
pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do pizza for dinner during the week, right? Or do you stay healthy during the
I try
week?
not to. Yeah.
Really? What are you
Yeah.
guys having for dinner during the week?
Typically, so I'm pescatarian. I don't eat any red meat. So it's usually fish and a vegetable of some sort, like broccoli or peas. And
Ah.
Sometimes it's a like a tofu scramble for me.
Okay.
Yeah, my husband eats meat like he's a not a carnivore, omnivore.
Hmm.
But ever since I stopped eating red meat, he actually eats less red meat too, which is kind of a nice byproduct.
But you'll eat chicken. Or no, just fish.
No chicken, just fish.
Okay.
Yeah. You?
Would you eat a McDonald's fish sandwich?
I do.
Okay.
Sometimes.
That's cool.
I think they've shrunk in like recent years, to be honest.
What
I
if they
don't,
use beef tallow in their oil that they fry it in?
I'm actually okay with it.
Hmm.
Not super picky. And I think it's because I've only been on the pescatarian diet since like 2020,
Hmm.
and I still remember what meat tastes like. Meat's great. Like, I mean, there's a whole like,
Feeling good on it.
yeah. Like, I mean, ethical and moral dilemma. Like, meat tastes good, but if it touches, I don't know, if the fish fillet touches a little bit of hamburger, it's not a big deal. I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So would you recommend the fish diet?
I would just to reduce meat intake at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the best fish that you like?
Salmon. Always salmon. Cooked.
Always salmon.
Yeah. Cooked or raw.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Not tuna.
I will just because it's affordable. That's pretty much the only reason.
About pokey.
Yeah. I eat a lot of it.
Pokey was Pokey was a revelation for me when I went to Southern California. I
Yeah.
remember the first time I had poke, I was at a meeting with my work and they were going out to lunch and they were going for poke and I'm like, what is that? And we went and it was so good. You know, when they put the sesame oil on top and stuff.
Yeah.
I had an obsession with poke and I still do, but it's so expensive now on this side of the coast, surprisingly, you know. Uh just less popular. And so I guess, there's less demand for it. So they charge more, but man, it's so good. Phew. I gotta start
When I
making
get
it
it
myself.
here,
Yeah.
it's like $20 here.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's a
It's
lot.
insane. Yeah. I used to be able to get like 3 scoops of fish on rice with all the toppings that I wanted for like $12 in Southern
Wow.
California. Yeah. Out the door.
Hmm.
Like, and you just walk up to the counter and they have like a whole thing and you start with the base and they give you the base. I don't know what it's like here, but then, you're like, yeah, I want this fish and then I want this topping. And it was glorious. That's probably second to Mexican food, something that I miss. But
Nice.
yeah, I mean, I know we're getting close to time here. You're certainly, talking me into the healthy lifestyle, of doing the 6,000 steps a day. I'm counting my calories. I'm trying to stop eating at 6 o'clock at night every night. But at some point, I actually have to start eating better
Hmm. That part's hard though. Stopping eating at 6 o'clock on like in the evening.
every day.
Oh,
Because I'll eat bad. If you're not eating healthy things, I think you're more likely to eat crap like later in the night. But like if
yeah.
you're already eating healthy, it's different if you're having an extra fish stick at like 10 o'clock at night. Who cares?
I do that sometimes. Literally.
Wait, you have like fish sticks in the freezer?
I do.
Are they good? You like them?
They're okay. I
Man,
mean,
something about the fish stick flavor just like coming back from childhood.
I don't know. I throw it into the toaster oven and then yeah,
Yeah,
dipping it in ketchup. I think it's
really
just yeah, probably because I ate it as
nostalgic.
a kid. Yeah, a little bit. Like I know it
Yeah,
doesn't taste great, but it's fish. It's something.
yeah,
Yeah, you don't
yeah.
like
What else are you
vegetables
supposed to do as protein? If you just want to grab a snack or something.
or can of tuna. Or I do like a handful of almonds even.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
bags of frozen Popeye chicken tenders in my freezer if I get hungry, but I can eat chicken.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. No, I don't have. What were you saying? What was your question about?
Oh. Do you like fish sticks?
No, I don't like fish sticks. Like something about the flavor, like the texture. Like it's nostalgic, but like in a bad way for me. But I love salmon. I love a fillet of salmon.
Yeah.
in the air fryer, some veggies on the side. Could do it more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to eat more fish.
Yep.
Maybe that's the takeaway. Time to
Hey,
wrap this thing up.
sure.
All right, folks. Well, I hope you enjoyed the healthy version of the Bob seat with Gillian. It's been a pleasure, Gillian. Thank you for taking the time to stop by the Bob seat.
Thanks for having
And
me.
we will see you all next week.